Namaste and welcome. We are going to be doing a yoga session on our spine, so spinal health. And just to start, I want to go over kind of what is spinal health. So the spine has many different movements it can do. And if we just go throughout our day and move and bend and all these different things without intention, it can be done with a slouch or with incorrect posture. So that's why when we do intentional movements in yoga, we're focusing on creating a lot of length in the spine. So the first step is to lengthen the spine. That way, when you bend or twist or fold, that it's done with a lot of integrity, keeping distance between the vertebra. So we're keeping the discs healthy, we're keeping the alignment healthy, and just keeping a good spine in that way. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start by warming up our spine. And so come down onto your hands and knees. And we're just going to start with simple cat-cow. So this is flexion and extension of the spine. So we'll inhale, let the belly drop down, roll the shoulders back, lift your tailbone, lift your chin, look up. Exhale, round the back, bring your navel up to your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone. So we'll alternate inhale and arching our back. Exhale, rounding our back. Inhale, let the movement happen from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Exhale, really drawing your abdomen. Inhale and exhale. So think about on your inhale, opening up the whole front side of your body, the whole front side of your spine. Exhale, opening up the whole back side of your body, back side of your spine. One more time, inhale and exhale. Good. Now come to a neutral spine, so just straight in the middle, and you'll notice the natural curves of the spine, right? They have this lordotic curve here in the low back, and that is completely normal. So we don't want a flat back, right? We can't really get that. That's a good thing. We have these different natural curves in the body. So that's where we're going to come to this neutral curve zone. And then we're going to kick our right leg back, just parallel with the floor, and left arm forward. So here it's really easy to arch our back. I'll show you the incorrect way first, right? Or to lengthen our spine. So that doesn't mean coming out of the shoulder socket, but when we reach forward with our fingers, it's lengthening the spine, maybe from the central point, and kicking back with your heel. That means your toes pointed down, and that lengthens the low back. So just focus on trying to get another millimeter worth of length in your spine and then lower down. Let's do that to the other side. Left leg back, point your toes down, heel kicks back, right hand forward, right? And then kick back to lengthen your low spine, reach forward to lengthen your top part of your spine. Good. And make sure you don't sink down in this hip or sink in this shoulder, but lifting up. Good. And lower down. And draw some circles with your hips. Our hips are very integrated with the health of our lower spine, especially. So we want to loosen up the outer hips. Good. And we'll loosen up the inner hips too by drawing the circles with your left leg by just bending your knee and allowing that knee to come forward, out, back, and down. Do the same thing with the right side. Drawing simple circles, just opening up the hips. Good. All right, so let's come to downward facing dog. Plant your hands, spread your fingers wide, hips send back and up. Good. Press your chest through your arms. And so, talking about spinal health with downward facing dog, oftentimes you might see people just kind of sitting here, right? Just kind of in this rounded back position. What we want to do is bend our knees as much as we need to send our tailbone up. So make sure that we're acting like we have a tail, like we're a really proud dog, right? Downward facing dog, that's the name. Lift your tailbone high. Another way to think of it is the space right where the back of your leg meets your glutes, right? You want to try to stretch that space. So how could you move your hips to open up that part of your legs? And what that'll do in turn is really stretch your spine up. So from here, wherever you are, bend knees as much as you need. You can have your heels relaxed down. They don't have to touch the ground, right? Just relaxed as much as possible. Some people's heels touch down, some don't. And then plant your hands down and feel this uplifting energy up your spine from your neck all the way to your tailbone. Try to lift it a little bit higher. Your low belly will engage. So the core comes in. So we're strengthening all the little tiny muscles. There's so many muscles around your spine, not just the big traps and lats, lots of small muscles that can be exercised by holding postures like this with intention. So intentionally lifting up through our tailbone like there's a string attached to it, pulling it to the sky. Good. And then let's come to a forward fold. So step forward to your hands and release your weight, grab opposite elbows, and allow your entire spine to let loose. So all the muscles that we're working are now just relaxed. Take a few deep breaths. And slowly rise up to standing, one vertebra at a time, letting your head be the last thing that comes up. Good. All right, so now that we're in a standing position, we're going to work on a few different things. So the first thing is chair pose. So let's have our feet about hip width distance and sink your hips back, weight in your heels, and bring your arms up. Good. So this is one way to do chair pose. And with our hips sinking back, we're going to extend through our spine. So you can see when you begin to extend, your core engages and you lift up in the direction of your hands. Making sure that your tailbone isn't too arched back, not too tucked, but just that neutral position, belly tight. Good, and stand up, release your hands. Now we're going to do a twisted chair. So this time bring your toes together. Your heels can be an inch or two apart, but your feet are together. Knees are together. Good. Sink back into your chair pose. Reach your arms up. Lengthen your tailbone down as you lengthen the crown of your head towards your hands. Bring your palms together at heart center. Keep that extension in your spine. And then there's two options here. I'm going to show the easiest or a more simple option first. You'll take your right hand on the outside of your left knee, left arm up to the sky, open arm twist. So with this, as we're extending still through the crown of our head, out through our tailbone, we are also adding in a twist. The arm does some of the movement for this twist, but your obliques add in a lot. The other option for this twist is hooking your elbow, right elbow, to the outside of your left knee. But if you notice your back rounding and you can't reach it, just stick with the open arm twist. Breathe deeply. Holding these postures, if you feel any shaking, that's normal, that's good. And untwist, let's stand up, shake it out just for a moment. And now we'll do the other side. So feet together, back into our chair, arms reach up, palms together at heart center. Option to take your left hand on the outside of your right leg, open up, open arm twist, or do your elbow twist, keeping your palms together in prayer. Good. And breathe as you extend through the crown of your head, through your tailbone, use your obliques, core is engaged. And release, stand up. Good, shake it out. Beautiful work. So now we're going to go and do some releasing of our spine in a wide fold. So for this fold, we want our feet parallel. maybe even our toes a little bit more in than our heels. We definitely don't want our knees out. We want them in. Good. Engage your thighs first. Have your hands on your low back, elbows pulled back, shoulder blades together. Press your hips forward. Big inhale, open your chest, lean back, look back. Exhale, hinge at the hips, fold forward with a flat back as far as you can go, and then release your whole spine over. So the intention for folding that way is because we want to get the most length in our spine before we start bending our spine. So inhale, halfway lift, fingertips on the ground. Exhale, hands come to your hips, elbows back. Inhale, stand all the way up. Good. Exhale, we're going to do that one more time. So inhale, open your chest, lean back. Exhale, hinge at the hips, go slow, back as far as possible, and then fold over, length through the crown of your head, hands can come down to the ground. Good. So to get a little bit more length in our spine, we're going to start to walk our hands back through our legs. So you can turn your fingertips to face away from your face and begin to walk your hands further behind you. Good. You might notice that your back starts to round a little bit more. But we have this natural extension through the crown of our head thanks to gravity. Take a few deep breaths. And walk your hands back underneath your face. And I want you to take your hands, interlace them behind the back of your head. Just gently allow the weight of your arms to release your neck. And let go. Inhale, halfway lift, come to your fingertips, straight arms. Exhale, hands to your hips, strong legs, elbows back. Inhale, come all the way up. Excellent. All right, so let's just take your right foot, if you're facing the camera or the picture, your right foot forward, left foot back. Good. We're going to come into a triangle pose. So this involves straight legs, but we want to make sure our legs are engaged to protect our knees. So your right foot is going to be pointing towards the front of the mat. The back foot is going to be pointing towards the side of your mat. Good. So first off, we're just going to keep our feet planted down, engage our legs so we have this little bit of drawing inwards. Our inner thighs are going to fire up. Good. And then I want you to press through the outer edge of your left foot so that the arch comes up a little bit. Good. Engage the outside of that leg. So from here, bring your arms straight up to the horizon, making sure that right thigh is lifting up on our kneecap. And we're going to reach forward as far as possible. See, I'm not trying to bend my spine yet, just trying to bend at the hips. Good. And from here, keeping a long torso on both sides of the body, right? Not starting to bend, just keeping straight. Then just take your right hand down, left arm up. Good. So triangle pose, keeping length through both sides of the body. Very, very beautiful, healthy spine from this posture. Okay, last is take your gaze up to your left hand, involving the neck. The neck is an important part of the spine. Keeping it healthy, take a few breaths. And on your next inhale, rise back up. Good. And let's switch to the other side. So your right toes will be pointing to the side of the mat. Your left toes pointing to the front of the mat. Good. Nice wide stance. Engage the muscles. Little bit of drawing in, and then press the outside of your right heel down, and it's the right pinky toe side of the foot, so the arch comes up slightly. Arms come out to a T. And begin to hinge at the hips, reaching forward, keeping those arms flat on the horizon. Good. And finally, when you've reached your extension of stretching in your inner thigh and in your hips, then you take that left arm down, right arm up, triangle pose, long through both sides of the body. Turn your gaze up, stretch it and strengthening the neck. Few deep breaths. Good. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, let's come back to the front of our mat. Beautiful. All right, so let's all inhale and reach arms up high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, get a nice long flat back, reaching through the crown of your head. And we'll pause here just for a moment so we can talk about this. So at this posture, you might have your hands on your knees, on your thighs. It all depends on the flexibility of your hamstrings. None is better or worse. We just want to do what's right for your body. So if you start to round your back, trying to reach down too far, come up a little bit, right? So wherever is a comfortable position to have, you have your natural flat curve in your back. Good. So from this halfway point, you want to feel like your tailbone is reaching in one direction and the crown of your head is reaching in the other. Lots of length, big inhale. And exhale, fold from a lengthened spine. Good. All right, you plant your hands down, come onto your knees, cross your ankles and come to a seat. So I'm going to work on a little bit of core. It's a very important part of our spine, right? Our core does so much, front, sides, back, to keep our spine in place and healthy. So I want to talk about boat pose. This pose is so great for your core if it's done properly. So there's several variations, and I'll start with the simplest. You can take your hands back behind you and just begin with your knees bent, feet about hip width apart. Already, we want to start with good posture. So if you notice your body slumping, really open up your chest, roll your shoulders back, engage your belly so that you have a good straight spine. And only then can we begin bending our elbows back and lifting our legs. Bent knee is totally fine. Straight leg if you want to go further. Good. The next step, if you want to go a little bit further than that, is to allow your arms to come up with your legs. But I want to reiterate how important it is to have that straightened structure in your spine. Otherwise, just stay here. But if you feel strong enough to keep your spine straight instead of rounding, then you can bring your arms up, legs up. Wherever you choose to be, make sure we don't tuck our chin too much or arch it back. Have it be an extension of that spine, and breathe a few deep rounds of breath. And release. Beautiful. All right, so now we're going to just take a moment to soften our spine with a butterfly pose. Turn to face the camera. Place your feet together, knees apart, and hold onto your ankles. Good. And what's that's going to do is as you pull, it allows you to lengthen your spine. So feel that difference. As you pull, you lengthen your spine through the crown of your head. Get as tall as you can. Press your knees down. Press the backs of your legs down. Good. And then as you exhale, fold at the hips. So hinging at the hips, straight back as long as you can. And when you can't keep your back straight anymore, see, I'm still pulling through the crown of my head. And then finally release your spine over. And again, it's all about creating as much length as we can before we fold. Good. And on your next inhale, rise back up. So we're going to work on a twist, and there's several ways to do this, of course. We're just going to have our left leg out straight. Left leg out straight, and take your right foot and cross it over onto the left side. Hug it in for a second. Oftentimes our outer hips can be really tight, and if they're too tight and we try to twist, we might round in our lower back. Just give it a nice hug. Good. And then plant it down and take note of how your posture is right now. Are you feeling hunched over already? Maybe take that foot and move it a little bit further away from you. If you're feeling nice and tall, then keep it close. Good. So what we want to do here is take our left hand and wrap either around our leg, pulling it into our body, or if you feel up for it, you can take your elbow and hook it around the outside of your right knee. Begin to twist over to the right, take your right hand back behind you, take your gaze back behind you, and take a few rounds of breath, focusing on the inhales, lengthening your crown to the sky, engage your abdomen. Exhale, obliques, pull you back to the right. A little bit more, deeper twist. Keep breathing, intentional breath, intentional movement. Good. And slowly release. And now we'll take that right leg out straight. Left foot will bend, or knee will bend. Bring that ankle and foot over to the right side. Beautiful. Hug it in. Let that hip open up, maybe a little bit of rocking back and forth. Just give it a few seconds to loosen. Good. And then place that foot down. Check in with your spine. If you're feeling like it, you can easily stay upright, stay in. If you need a little bit more openness, bring your foot farther away from you. So wherever you choose to be, option A, take your right hand around your knee, start to twist to the left. Option B, take your elbow, hook it onto the outside of your knee, twist to the left. Left hand behind you, look behind you. Inhales, lengthen from the base of your spine to the crown of your head. Abdomen engages. Exhale, your obliques engage, twisting you deeper to the left. And slowly release. Good. Let's all lay on our backs. So we're going to come to a happy baby pose. This is a very fun pose. So begin to take your legs apart with knees bent, and your arms will come on the inside of your legs, but the outside of your feet. If your hips are a little tight, that's totally okay and that's normal. If it looks a little bit different, that's totally okay and totally normal. But this is the aim, where we're grabbing the outsides of our feet. If you need to grab the outsides of your ankles, you can do that too. So here, to kind of reset the spine, we're going to do a few things. So we're going to begin to kick up into our hands and resist it. So as you do that, you'll notice your low back will press more into the mat. And then I want you to actively press the back of your neck into the mat, making your neck long. Back of your neck nice and long. Keep trying to kick up into your hands resist it, low back pressing down. Neck pressing down. Take a few breaths. And release. Beautiful. So the last thing to do for our spine, the biggest reset, is Shavasana. Can't stress enough the importance of this. Having a solid surface instead of a soft surface to lay down on can actually be really therapeutic for your spine. So allow your legs to just come out at a natural angle so your feet are about at the edge of the mat. Arms come away from the body but close to the sides, palm face up. Just feel a lot of space in your spine. Maybe adjust as much as you need. And close your eyes. This just allows all of the muscles to release. It allows the spine to regain its alignment. And it allows your body and your mind and your nervous system to digest all that you just did for yourself. Able to assimilate. Your nervous system gets an upgrade. So while you're here, we're going to help it out by just deep breathing. By softening your mind, softening your body, allowing your forehead to be soft, your jaw to be soft, shoulders and arms to be relaxed. And then mentally follow your spine from the top of your neck all the way down to the base of your spine. Maybe do that a few times, just inviting relaxation in every vertebra. So just follow it with your mind's eye, just softening every part of your back, all around each and every vertebra in your neck, your thoracic spine, your lumbar spine, all the way down to your sacrum. Make sure your legs are relaxed, feet, and each and every toe. Begin to take a few deep breaths in through your nose and sigh out your mouth. In through your nose. Sigh it out. One more time. Make it count. Make it intentional. And release. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit left and right. Massage your low back. Good. And then I want you to take your arms up overhead and let your left leg out, your right leg out long, and take a big, deep stretch. Really stretch out your entire body from your fingertips to your toes. Your spine gets long. Maybe bend a little bit left and right. One more last bit of the length. Good. And then bend your knees and roll over to the left. Come up to a seat. And bring your hands to heart center. Thumbs can press on your chest, sitting nice and tall, feeling that length that you have intentionally created. I just want you to take a moment here and send some gratitude to your spine, to your body, to your mind for showing up, for growing in this way. Namaste.